Hi, Ray Moran with the V20, here today with a really great speaker, Dean Ward, who's a valuer with the city of Cape Town, South Africa. And we're really excited because Dean and I will be talking about some of the logistics and fun things to do in Cape Town. Dean, if you don't mind, welcome, and we love to hear a bit more about yourself and tell us about the venue for the conference.
Okay, thanks very much, Ray. Hello, everybody, from wherever you are around the world. My name is Dean Ward. I'm a property valuer based in Cape Town, South Africa. I have various qualifications in property valuation and property development and management. I have 30 years experience in valuations and have contributed to the academic field both as a lecturer, a writer of academic material, and I've lectured in property valuation and property law. And I've also worked as a consultant valuer for some leisure developments, both in Africa and in the Far East. And I have started presenting papers on my new subject for the future, which is climate change and the effects on real estate valuation in South Africa. Just on about the venue for the conference in September is the CTICC, or the Cape Town International Convention Centre, which is South Africa's premier conference venue. It's situated close to our world famous V&A waterfront, Victoria and Albert waterfront. It's about 19 kilometers, or for those who are not on the metric system, that's about 11 miles from Cape Town International Airport. So the Cape Town International Convention Centre is where the conference will be held over the 2-day period.
Wow, that sounds fascinating. And with that background, Dean, be careful. We're going to make you a presenter on one of our panels. Dean, the area sounds terrific. I assume there are many great hotel options for us, and are airport transfers quite easy to arrange?
Okay, let's start off with the hotels. We've got quite a selection of hotels which surround the Cape Town International Convention Centre. They're all within walking distance and range anything from 3 stars to 5 stars. We do have a couple of premier hotels situated inside the waterfront itself, which is also within walking distance. So most hotels are situated probably about 500 meters away from the conference venue. Then just with regards to access from the airport, access is quite easy. You can do it via an airport taxi. Most hotels, if you book into a hotel close to the convention center, they have hotel shuttles that run to the airport for guests staying at their hotel. And then also private pickups can be arranged via dedicated transport service. But if you need any information on that, you can just drop me an email and I'll let you know who to contact.
That's perfect. And of course, we'll have your contact information at the end of the interview for the viewers. Dean, but beside the conference and the summit, I'm personally thrilled at some of the fun tourist things that are available and different options. I know I'm going to head to see the famous penguin colony and looking forward to Table Mountain as well. But can you elaborate a bit more on the options available for touring?
Absolutely, Ray. Let's start first off with Table Mountain, which is our famous landmark in Cape Town. It's the source of our southeasterly wind, which blows through Cape Town at quite a rate of knots, really upsetting anybody walking along the foreshore where the CTIC is situated. So if the wind is blowing coming off the mountain, you need to hold on to something, probably a rope or a pole or something, so that you don't get blown away. Yeah, Cape Town can be explored. You can either use the footpaths to the top of Table Mountain, or if you want to take a little bit of the lazy way out, you can arrange to go up the cable car, which is situated on the top of Kloofneck Road. Take a cable car to the top of the mountain. You can have breakfast or lunch up there, and from there you can have the views over the whole of Cape Town, both on the western seaboard and the east facing south. So that is a good day trip. Then also, just with reference to our penguin colony, which is situated in Simonstown, which is about 30 kilometers out of Cape Town. If you're staying in a hotel, they can usually just arrange those types of excursions for you down to the penguin colony. It's a breeding ground, so you don't actually interact with the penguin colony, but you walk very close to them. A lot of them are nesting under the boardwalk. So you get up very close and personal with the penguins. Then we also have at the V&A waterfront, we also have an aquarium which you can go and look at, in our latest shark edition. They're always catching sharks and putting it into the aquarium, except great white sharks, because they're the only sharks that don't seem to live in captivity. And then just if you'd like to do some wine tasting, there is a place in Cape Town, in Tamboeskloof, which is a wine tasting venue where they grow grapes to make wine on the slopes of Signal Hill. But if you'd like a full day wine tasting excursion, you can go out, book yourself a tour, go out to Stellenbosch, visit a few famous wine farms. You can purchase some wine there. They're very happy to ship it back to wherever you come from around the world. And then for those of you who are a little bit more adventurous and want to do a little bit of a safari, there is a game reserve in Cape Town where you can see the Big Five, which is about 2 hours out of Cape Town. Again, something that you can arrange through your hotel. Unfortunately, if you go to the game reserve, it's an overnight accommodation, because you cannot see everything there in one day. And they have the Big Five there. So the Big Five wild animals you can see at the game reserve.
Wow, that all sounds amazing, and particularly the vineyards. Dean, I love a good meal. So what should I be looking for local cuisine and favorite local foods?
Well, Ray, I'm also one for a good meal, always. You can try our famous bobotie and samosas, which is made in Cape Town. A lot of restaurants stock it. A lot of the local takeaways also stock our food, which is the basic takeaway that most people in Cape Town eat on a daily basis. If you are looking for some fine dining, there are some good fine dining restaurants in the V&A waterfront. You can do some fine dining on a yacht. You can do some fine dining at a hotel or restaurant. So there are a lot of options for very fine dining with some of the world top ranked chefs. You can also try our hotel school, where our new chefs, which for the future put together different types of cuisines with a fusion of different types of ingredients to make different tastes. And then we also have a place called the Test Kitchen, where they do exactly the same thing. They put together all these different types of ingredients that you would think would not be compatible. So if you want that type of food, then that's the place to go. And also, just as a matter of interest, your former president's wife, Michelle Obama, also had lunch at the Test Kitchen, and she attested that the food was very good there.
In that case, we'll have to go. How about history and culture? I know Cape Town has a huge amount of both, Dean.
Well, Cape Town, the first settlers or the first explorers here were the Portuguese in the 14 and 1500s. And then I don't know if you're aware, but then the Dutch came here in 1652 and established a refreshment station for their passing ships that were going to the east to get spices that weren't available in Europe at the time. And Cape Town has basically grown from 1652 all the way up to 2025. The population has grown, the Cape Town itself has grown. Cape Town also has the South Africa's oldest building, which was built in 1679, which is the shape, which is called the Castle in Cape Town, which has 5 bastions named after some places up in Holland. So that's a good place to explore. It has a lot of history in it, covering a few centuries from the 1600s. And then also we have the Iziko Museum, which is at the top of the gardens, the regional gardens which were planted by Jan van Riebeeck, who was the first governor of the Cape to supply ships that were passing through Table Bay with fresh produce and especially water. So that museum also covers a lot of history from before the time that Jan van Riebeeck came here until the present day. So very interesting trip to make, also with the adjacent planetarium next to that.
This all sounds amazing. I can't wait to take this all in. Dean, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Any final thoughts you'd like to convey to the audience who are watching you and I talk about all the fun things to do?
Well, Ray, thank you for the conversation. Thank you for putting this together. I'm just happy. I've basically for the V20, I'm working as the logistics officer or the logistics coordinator. My email address is on the website. So if anybody needs any special attention, you can email me. We can put something together. I'm also the unofficial tour guide. So if there's anything you need, you can just let me know, and I welcome everybody to Cape Town, and I hope that it can be a memorable experience for you and your family, for those bringing their families.
We will definitely take you up on that. Thank you, Dean. This is terrific.